Sarawak is well poised to be a major green hydrogen producer and supplier in the region by 2028, and Sarawak must to monetize on its carbon resources as part of its green carbon economics. Sabah and Sarawak must win big to have greater negotiation power. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Cheryl Chamato, and this is TVS Nightline. Sarawak's vision to become a hydrogen hub in the Asian region comes with the necessary steps and actions. Premier of Sarawak, Dr. Patigi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tonopeng said Sarawak had been in talks with large industries from Japan and Korea that are keen to collaborate.
The Premier added that with the state's strength in renewable power, Sarawak was well poised to be a major green hydrogen producer and supplier in the region by 2028. He said so when commenting as a panel speaker to questions by a moderator at the Tokyo Hydrogen Forum organized by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government in Japan on Wednesday, October 12. Meanwhile, Abang Johari stressed that the threat of climate change crisis to the world was real as weather patterns had become unpredictable that warranted a concerted effort of the global community. As such, in playing its role, the Sarawak government had put in place policies that are aligned with the world's climate change protocols designed toward decarbonization. Abang Johari pointed out that it's time for Sarawak, together with the rest of the world, to act towards the energy transition in order to achieve a net zero emissions by 2050 as set by the Paris Protocol. Through SEDC Energy Sarawak that was negotiating with Sumitomo Corporation and INEOS Corporation of Japan under the Hornbill project, where green hydrogen via methylcyclohexene MCH was targeted to be on stream by 2028. Additionally, Sarawak is also negotiating with Samsung, POSCO and Lotte of Korea under the Hibiscus project for a buyback in the form of ammonia. Meanwhile, commenting on Sarawak's hydrogen experience, Abang Johari said it had started with a pilot hydrogen production facility in 2016 under Sarawak Energy SEB that supplied that gas to run hydrogen buses and cars in Sarawak's capital city of Kuching. Earlier, the Premier and members of his delegation paid a courtesy call to the Governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike, at her office. Among those present were Deputy Premier Dato Amar Awang Tengahlia Hassan, State Secretary Dato Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki, Deputy State Secretary Dato Dr. Muhammad Abdullah Zaidil, and SEDC Chairman Tan Sri Dato Amar Abdul Aziz Hussein, Chief Political Secretary to the Premier Fazruddin Abdul Rahman. Earlier in the day, the delegation took a tour of the Tokyo Oi Hydrogen Station and later to Tokyo Hydrogen Museum.
Sarawak wants to monetize on its carbon resources as part of its green carbon economics, as well as in fulfilling the nation's sustainable development goals. Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, pointed out that Sarawak has an advantage in achieving such goals, namely in green and blue carbon.
For Sarawak and Malaysia, we have to find our own ways or our own SDG. And they have to accept it. This is our ways of SDG. For Sarawak, we have 6 million hectares of green carbon. We have 15 million hectares of blue carbon. These two is a very powerful things on your SDG target. We're not talking agenda.
He said in his opening speech when officiating the Malaysia Urban-Rural National Indicators Network for Sustainable Development, BORNEON, at a hotel in Kuching on Thursday. Dr. Sim further stressed that the revenue would contribute to a robust economy statewide.
And that's why Malaysia to include Sarawak for this to achieve your target. You are not going to get 6 million hectares of green carbon in West Malaysia. Mana ada? Tengok saja. So we are happy to let you to have the 6 million hectares of target, but bayarlah. Someone has to pay for it lah. And that's why we are looking at as another economics, and the new economics of this green carbon, new economics of blue carbons.
Meanwhile, a total of 26 local authorities PBTs in Sarawak have joined MURNINET starting next year. During the ceremony, Dr. Sim lauded the move, stating that this is a definite state for Sarawak to adapt to digital transformation, in line with the aim set by the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Padinggi Tan Sri Amang Johari Tun Openg, in making Sarawak a high-income state by 2030.
The Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS coalition and political parties in Sabah must win big in G15 in order for the two states to have better power in negotiating with the new federal government. As such, Senior Fellow of National Council of Professors Dr. Jerry Amer is of the opinion that a landslide victory should create opportunities for Sarawak as to not to be solely dependent on the Malaysian Agreement 1963 MA 63.
Memang orang Sarawak dan Sabah mengharapkan melangkah ke hadapan untuk Malaysia baru. Harus ada satu tawaran ataupun deal yang baru. Kita tidak harus lagi sekadar berpegang kepada perjanjian MA 63, tetapi sesuai juga dengan semangat MA 63 dan gagasan keluarga Malaysia. Amat penting untuk kerajaan baru, sesiapa pun yang membentuk kerajaan nanti selepas PRU 15, untuk memikirkan bagaimanakah langkah terbaik untuk betul-betul mengiktirafkan Sabah Sarawak sebagai wilayah dan juga memastikan semangat dan arti sebenarnya gagasan keluarga Malaysia itu dapat diangkat ke satu tahap yang betul-betul bermakna.
Janiri further explained that if GPS contributes more seats than Sabah, hence the Deputy Minister position should be handed over to the GPS government.
Dalam konteks ini, salah satu langkah yang harus berani diambil oleh Perdana Menteri ketika itu ialah melantik Perdana Menteri sama ada dari Sabah atau Sarawak, mana-mana negeri yang dapat menyumbangkan kerusi yang lebih besar. Jadi kalau misalnya GPS dari Sarawak dapat memberi sumbangan kerusi yang besar, lebih besar daripada Sabah, maka jawatan itu harus diserahkan kepada GPS dari Sarawak. Tapi yang pasti sekarang ialah kita nak lihat kita tidak lagi terperangkap dalam kepompong pemikiran yang lama dari segi politik dan bagaimana sistem persekutuan ini harus dikendalikan untuk memungkinkan kita dapat bergerak di atas landasan yang betul dari segi politik, ekonomi dan juga dari segi isu antarabangsa. Jadi untuk itu yang paling signifikan, yang paling penting untuk difikirkan dengan amat serius oleh Perdana Menteri nanti ialah menyerahkan jawatan itu, iaitu jawatan TPM kepada Sarawak atau Sabah, bukan lagi sekadar mewujudkan jawatan Menteri Kanan seperti yang diamalkan ketika ini. Jadi jawatan itu penting bagi memastikan bahawa wilayah ini ada kita tiga wilayah kan, Sabah, Sarawak dan sebenarnya Malaysia itu sama taraf.
Meanwhile, Janiri also urged that in this context, the next appointed Prime Minister after the 15 general election should have a strong commitment in terms of development and change, taking into consideration that 6 million population in Sabah and Sarawak by electing the Deputy Minister from either East Malaysia states.
Sarawak Integrity and Ombudsman Unit in the Premier's Department is extending its functions and to help delayed projects by the government. Premier Sarawak Dr. Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tonopeng, whose text speech was read by Deputy Premier Dr. Ahmad Douglas Uga Amba, said these are mainly critically delayed projects and urged all ministries to collaborate with the unit at improving administration as ombudsman services are free of charge, accessible to everyone and beneficial to the public as an alternative dispute resolution.
Indeed, besides managing complaint, Sarawak Ombudsman has also taken the initiative to extend its function to inspect projects undertaken by the state government. These are mainly delayed or critically delayed projects. However, even projects already completed is also included to ensure they were completed based on specification, budget, schedule, with the successful one benchmark for other similar projects.
The unit has performed well in 4 years in managing complaints effectively. Given the mandated with the authority to oversee, investigate and seek resolution on problems pertaining to red tapes, maladministration and bureaucracy in the private sector as well.
This is a testament of the seriousness of the government in combating corruption, as well as in calculating and nurturing a society of high integrity and to enhance the socio-economic development based on good governance, accountability and transparency.
He further added that the unit will have no interference to its duty and maintain its independence in the government.
Sarawak United People's Party (SUPP) will contest in all of its traditional 7 seats in the coming GE15. The party's president, Dr. Sri Dr. Sim Gui Yan, said several names have been decided and the candidates who will be competing will be announced in the near future by the Gabungan Party Sarawak Chairman, Dr. Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tonopeng.
Cebu, Bandar Cebu, we got Palawan, we got Nangka branch, we got Bawang Asam branch, and so every branch has nominated one. This is our practice, and then we will consult with our component parties like PBB, Dr. Anwar, because Nangka is Dr. Anwar, and so we will consult. But we will basically come out with just one name because you cannot have 3 name contesting one. But today, I speak to everyone. Doesn't matter which is the first, the final one. We all come together to make sure that person wins.
Elaborating further, Sim, who is also the Deputy Premier, said the 7 traditional seats are Bandar Kuching, Stampin, Serian, Serikai, Cebu, Lanang and Miri. In the 14th general election, GE14 in 2018, the party only managed to retain Serian, while Bandar Kuching was won by Dr. Calvin Yee, DAP, Stampin by Chong Chien Jan, DAP, Serikai by Wong Ling Biu, DAP, Lanang by Alice Lau, DAP, Cebu by Oscar Ling, DAP, and Miri by Michael Teo, PKR.
In the same development, Dr. Sim stressed that the list of candidates for the 7 parliamentary seats allocated to the party have been finalized. As such, Dr. Sim added that there will be no seat swapping with other GPS component parties as all SUPP branches have worked very hard in their respective constituencies. He opined that it has become a practice and added that component parties will be consulted.
As far as I'm concerned, all these branches in this kawasan, they all work so hard, and then suddenly tukar, not fair to them lah.
Meanwhile, commenting on new faces, he said that there will be at least 6 new faces due to the 6 areas that were lost in the last election. Adding to that, Sim said that only candidates who can ensure a win will be fielded. The 15th general election is important for Sarawak as the state will go into general election for the first time under GPS logo. At the same time, this is the opportunity for Sarawak to send a strong signal to the federal government that Sarawak is going all out to fight for what belongs to Sarawak.
The result of the G15 is crucial in the state's bid to send a strong signal to the federal government that Sarawak will be going all out to fight for its rights. Hence, Dr. Sim stressed that the election will be a platform for the state to demand the rights as enshrined in the Malaysian Agreement 1963 or MA 63.
People, including me, are not happy with our federal budget allocation for Sarawak. Out of 90 billion, we got 5.4 billion. It did not fulfill well our aspiration for Sarawak development. Yes, Sarawak government spent a lot more money also, but the taxation system, and that's why our Premier kept on saying that he wants a member in the income tax so that we know exactly how much they collect money from Sarawak.
Sim, who is also the Minister of Local Public Health, Housing and Local Government, said many are still dissatisfied with the schools and hospital in Sarawak. As such, by ensuring that GPS wins all seats during the GE15, then will only Sarawak be able to take back its right, especially in terms of taxation.
What we want to know is how much you get from Sarawak. And so that we know how much you have to give back to Sarawak. If we give back to Sarawak, even in your national budget, right, you don't give anything to Sarawak, doesn't matter. I already take my money, man. So what do I think I need a national budget? You know, the worst thing is, we keep on saying, yeah, I'm happy.
He said this during a press conference after officiating at the launching of the UTS Smart Home and UTS Home Book at University Technology Sarawak, UTS, on Wednesday, October 12.
Smart home for aging in place, and France tells Total Energies to hike wages after 2-week standoff. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Nightline. Smart homes can make it easier in assisting the elderly while providing safety and security, especially when Sarawak is facing an aging population by 2030. The opportunities to leverage on technologies for enhancing the physical and cognitive capacity of the elderly to maximize their quality of life.
Going to face aging population, we have to depend on technology to help us to live our quality of life.
He said this during a media conference after the launch ceremony of Smart Home at the University Technology Sarawak, UTS, on Wednesday. He further added that having a smart home and smart technology are also in line with Sarawak's agenda to be one of the richest states in Malaysia by 2030. Thus, Dr. Sim, who is also the Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, urged UTS to explore on how to implement healthcare needs into the smart home, such as tracking individuals when they fall or face an emergency.
I'm so happy that you can see the technology has it here locally. We don't need even to talk about China. Of course, we will constantly collaborate.
UTS Vice-Chancellor Professor Datuk Khairuddin Abdul Hamid said the idea to create a smart home started in 2019. It is to show the ability of UTS staff and students in innovating the theoretical knowledge they have learned into practical solutions for the benefit of society. UTS also says it is trying to play a role to realize the strategic measures outlined in the Sarawak Digital Economy Strategy 2018 to 2022. Following the Election Commission announcement to meet on October 20 to discuss the key dates for G15, such as the nomination day, early polling and polling day, remains a question mark. According to the senior lecturer of the Faculty of Administrative Sciences and Policy Studies, Dr. Noor Aida Kibli, predictions have already started among political parties and also political analysts. However, she opined that G15 might be held on the second week of the upcoming November.
Setelah perbincangan 20 Oktober melihat beberapa aspek dengan parti-parti politik sudah mula melakukan gerak gempur, siap siaga, bermesyuarat dengan ahli-ahli mereka, mungkin minggu kedua bulan November.
Doktor,
12.
She explained further that the dates are appropriate considering there will be festivities in mid-November. This is also to avoid floods if it gets postponed to December.
Memang tidak akan diancak kepada Disember. Disember memang kita menghadapi critical situasi untuk musim ketujuh. Jadi minggu pertama November ataupun minggu kedua November. Jadi 5 atau 12. Jadi di sini mengikut ramalan saya, apa yang saya kongsikan bahawa SPR akan memilih tarikh yang bersesuaian. Yang mana 12 tu jatuh pada hari Sabtu. Okey, yang mana pada yang sama pada ketika itu adalah persiapan untuk menyambut hari perayaan juga. Okey. Jadi kemungkinan tarikh itu dipilih bagi mengelakkan untuk berlakunya kesesakan yang mana rakyat boleh turun mengundi dalam pada yang sama boleh mengurangkan persiapan untuk menyambut hari perayaan. Kalau
In accordance with Article 40, Bracket 2, Bracket B and Article 55, Bracket 2 of the Federal Constitution, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah has consent to dissolve the 14th Parliament. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the dissolution of Parliament was not due to the pressure from UMNO. Even so, he revealed that Bersatu was actually the one urging for an election to be held.
Kalau ikutkan pandangan daripada parti dah lama dah saya bubarkan parlimen tu. Daripada dulu kita tengok masa pilihan raya Johor, dia kata bubar. Setiap kali perhimpunan pun bubar. UMNO dah lama cakap soal pembubaran. Cuba masa yang sesuai dan saya pun belum merancang lagi dari segi tarikh yang tepat. Tapi bila ada isu yang berkaitan dan saya nampak dah tak boleh nak go on lagi, jadi saya bubar.
Elaborating further, Ismail Sabri said it was difficult for him to continue leading the government when his cabinet ministers cannot see eye to eye, especially after Bersatu President Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, whose party was part of the government, said that the government had failed to manage the country well.
Saya dah sebut yang kata kerajaan gagal dan perlukan pilihan raya semula yang cepat adalah daripada pengurusi Bersatu. Presiden Bersatu. Dia adalah parti yang sama dalam gabungan kerajaan. Ada 9 tak silap saya menteri daripada parti dia. Tiba-tiba dia attack kerajaan, itu merupakan satu perkara yang amat tidak bertanggungjawab. Kalau dia kata saya tak bertanggungjawab, dia merupakan yang memulakan perkara yang saya lakukan hari ini.
He told reporters after launching the opening of the Damansara Shah Alam Elevated Highway, or DASH, on Thursday.
A sum of 24.643 million ringgit from the Unit for Other Religions in the Sarawak Premier's office was granted to finance 86 projects under its Phase 1 grants distribution this year. As Minister in Charge, Dr. Ahmad Douglas Ugamba said, these projects included the construction, renovation or the upgrading of various houses of worship, multipurpose halls and other facilities.
He said this after presenting checks for 76 such projects costing 19 million ringgit. Among those receiving them on behalf of their beneficiaries were Deputy Premier Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, Minister of Education, Innovations and Talent Development Datuk Roland Sagahwi, and Deputy Ministers Datuk Hajah Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali, Datuk Gerard Rentap, Datuk Dr. Pengwang Mangyel, and other assemblymen or their representatives. Meanwhile, the presentation proved that Unifor is still relevant and is in dire need to assist all the non-Islamic religions in the state. UGAH added that like last year, the state government had again graciously approved a budget of 50 million ringgit this year to allow Unifor to carry out its noble objective. He advised all those religious organizations given the grants to closely monitor the implementation of their respective projects. When done well and delivered on schedule, they will greatly benefit the people in practicing their religious beliefs and obligations. UGAH added the next distribution of grants was expected to be held later this year.
Thank you for staying with me. And now on to our world affairs. France told Total Energies to raise wages on Thursday, October 13, as the oil firm's 2-week standoff with striking workers, which has sapped the country's petrol supplies, dragged on.
Oil depot and refinery strikes have reduced France's petrol output by more than 60% and left 1 in 3 petrol stations struggling for fuel. They have spread this week to other energy companies, including Nuclear Power Group, EDF. The strikes at 5 of EDF's nuclear plants are delaying maintenance and fuel reloading at a time when the French utility is already struggling to get enough reactors back online for winter amid a wider European energy crisis. First talks between Total Energies and CGT leaders were held on Wednesday, October 12, but failed to end the stalemate. A union representative told Reuters on Thursday that strikes affecting 4 refineries and a site in Dunkirk would continue. The French government confirmed the back-to-work order with a source in the Prime Minister's office saying it would come into force at 2 p.m. local time.
The Yang Dipertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah, accompanied by Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Aziza Amina Maimuna Iskandaria, paid a courtesy call on King Charles III at Buckingham Palace, United Kingdom, on Wednesday. The Comptroller of the Royal Household, Dr. Ahmad Fadil Shamsuddin, stated that the courtesy call was made in conjunction with the Majesty's 6-day special visit to London since October 10.
Through a post on Istana Negara's Facebook, Ahmad Fadil said that during the 40-minute courtesy call, Al-Sultan and King Charles also discussed, among others, bilateral relations between Malaysia and the UK, as well as environmental issues and of the Malaysia-owned Battersea Power Station in London. The courtesy call reflects on the closeness of His Majesty with King Charles, as they have been friends for more than 4 decades, which started with them playing polo together in their youth at various levels of international tournaments. As such, the courtesy visit, which is the second meeting between Al-Sultan Abdullah and King Charles this year, also reflects the close relationship between Malaysia and the UK.
what about Kuching 2022, a festival anticipated by all as it jumps back to life post-pandemic? Join those who are the backbone of this well-known festival and proudly presenting our very own local designer Adinda Nur Fatma on bringing local fashion to the world. On Sejahtera Asia tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. only on TVS channel 122 and MyTV. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Cheryl Shamato. Thank you for watching.